So what's up, guys? It's me, Rob Shiva, the spiritual philanthropist, and I made a few other videos about uh, very important people. A lot more now, you would say, the uh, pop stars, Hollywood stars. A lot of people are having a lot of difficult problems right now. Um, it seems to be following a specific pattern. First, they start acting out crazy within their own shows or concerts or tours or whatever they do. And then in the news they start building them up to be like a psycho, like they have real serious mental problems. They all keep saying the same exact thing, that they're afraid that someone is or something, or the powers that be the elite are trying to kill them. That's not by accident there. um, a lot of the people that this has happened to have had a lot of influence on the public, and for some reason they target a lot of African American men especially. And probably there are quite a few you know uh, I guess Caucasian actors and singers also that have had to deal with the same exact problems. And they're portrayed as being crazy and just not able to do their work. So it's usually a precursor for something worse. So I'm hoping that Kanye West and that nothing worse is going to happen to him, that they'll just let him be, and hopefully he can pull himself out of this. But I think what it comes down to is what I said before, is that no matter how much fame, how much fortune that you have, deep down inside your spirit, your nature, what's right and what's wrong. Has nothing to do with Christianity and any certain religion. I'm sick and tired of hearing all these people coming out saying the devil's doing this and the devil's doing that and Satan this and Satan that. No, it's a bunch of bullshit. What it comes down to is a bunch of greedy motherfuckers that are very filthy rich. It's white supremacists, probably, the people that own the planet, basically, are the ones that are driving this thing, or the force that's driving it. They are attacking, like I said, very powerful men of color and women. For the people that are living at that stage where they're living a very good lifestyle and they're well off, they must be walking a very, very thin razor's edge, because just in my own lifetime, and some of the people I've bumped into in certain walks of life, and I could see that they have no conscience, some of these people. And I say no conscience, I mean nothing at all. They do their business. It could be the front that that it's a business to help people or to help kids or starving families or whatever. And it's not about that. There's always some other racket, some other bullshit involved in it, where they're making money somehow. And that's what it comes down to. The name of the game for them is, divide, conquer, and just play God. And that's basically what they do. Their whole rhetoric, if you look at the yoga industry here in America, especially, which a lot of the big celebrities, stars, models, the who's who in the world, is now partaking in the whole yoga scene. I was involved with that scene for quite a long time. And I was there when a lot of that stuff started. I was the first one to start saying that, to compare it to the Nazis and the symbolism and, the people that actually regulate the yoga industry here in America. They call it Yoga Alliance, and they have a symbol that's very similar to, the name, actually, Yoga Alliance, is very similar to what they had. I think it was the Northern Alliance, which is part of the Nazi groups. And when I was in that area and I spoke to a lot of these people, they really had a very bad view on people of color, especially African American people. And they never really had anything nice to say. And the simple fact that I could identify with African American people with the struggle, and kind of speak on the behalf of what African American people have had to face and are facing today, because I faced it growing up in Texas when I was younger. I still face it today here in New York. It's pretty sad. It's something that I don't know, why people aren't paying attention to what's happening, but it's something that people need to, open their eyes about. I'm not going to say that it's not a spiritual thing. Of course, it's a spiritual thing. Of course, there's evil in the world, but I don't believe in this whole, God versus Satan thing. I think it's a lot more complex than just that. Um, we have the ability to help one another. It's I think the simple fact that so many African American people are caught up in the Christianity and Catholicism and this and that they can't get past the illusion that that these people perpetrated on them. And once they can get past that illusion, then they can see that there's something else even brighter and stronger and more geared to their soul. And I've been fighting for that for a long time to try to get people to see that, but it's almost impossible in the atmosphere that we live in, because as soon as you start talking about these things, everybody wants to condemn you as being crazy. Again, go back and look at Dave Chappelle. Some of the things that he said about being crazy. He says, it's messed up that people could use the term to call someone crazy when in reality these people are very strong individuals. And he was saying that maybe it's the environment, maybe the environment's just a little sick. And what he meant by saying the environment, society. He didn't want to put it down on society, and he's smart for doing that as being an entertainer. But the little experiences I've had just in the workforce here has been horrendous. The people are fucking horrible. I'm not going to lie about it. They have no compassion, no sense of reality at all. Their egos are blown up out of proportion. I'm talking about like your everyday, everybody that's working, a job in any corporation anywhere. That's why people are so at each other's throat for everything. It's pretty much sad. But then the people that are doing really well, like those big stars and whatnot, these guys, they have it even harder, because the people that follow them are all these people that I'm talking about in the workforce. So, it's a very tricky situation. And, you have to be really strong to be able to deal with this. And that's not even a joke. I do feel bad for Kanye West. One of the things I liked about him, even though I didn't know him personally, is that when he felt like speaking his mind, he said exactly what was on his mind. And a lot of people don't like that. But to me, that told me something, that no matter what, how they portray him in certain ways, and like he doesn't care, but he does care. That's why he speaks up the way he does. Look, Bobby Brown and Whitney Houston, went through some hard shit. I mean, there's so many people of color, especially African American people, that are going through this. If people don't see that this is not something that's happening by accident, this is an actual planned, event. This is strategically set out to harm these people. The people that are doing it, the people that have the money, the ability to enforce these things. These people are the ones that everybody should be looking out for. They're scary. Would you want to be in a situation, with those type of people? Just think about it. And, these people can do basically anything they want. They have that power. They have that luxury. So you have to ask yourself that, there's some serious stuff going on in this world, and we are not, not too many people paying attention to what's happening. Everybody's watching what these Bible thumpers keep saying. Satan's doing this, and Satan's doing that, and blah, blah, blah. No, it's a bunch of greedy motherfuckers that are doing it. Simple as that, and we, as human beings, need to be able to get in there and to, to try and, salvage and help these people out. I just think it's a pretty horrendous situation, So don't know what to say, man. I'm just hoping that people can actually, do something and realize what's happening, and how horrible this is. Another thing that you have to do is you have to look at the the incident that happened with I forget her name, his wife or whoever she is, Kim Kardashian, and that's also another strange thing when you look at it. We're living in hard times, man. He's going to be just another casualty if the people don't speak up on his behalf, and that's what we need to do. We need to actually get up and say something. Um, you know, in reality, we have the power to actually change this whole thing. We have the power to control what's going on, but we just don't realize it. They have us brainwashed into believing that we need somebody to help us in that area. Well, I do believe up to a certain point, society does need some kind of structure. It does. There's no doubt in my mind. But the kind of thing that's happening now, you know, I just really feel bad for this man. You know, Martin Lawrence, said the same thing. Cat Williams said the same thing. All these, you know, big performers and entertainers have come out and said they're trying to kill me and blah blah blah. And they freaked out. You don't think that the people that have the power and the money can actually slowly do things to make you believe that your life is in danger, just to drive you crazy and to mess with you? Even if they're not doing it, for fun, I believe that they're actually doing it, in reality for some contract that they must have signed. Like, Cat Williams, his whole career got fucked up. If you look at that, the police pretty much fucked with him over and over until he, basically just gave in. Martin Lawrence, he suffered a stroke at the height of his shit. Nobody talks about it. The only person to talk about it was Dave Chappelle. When Dave Chappelle jetted off to Africa, everybody's wondering, Dave Chappelle had a big thing for $50 million. They were going to pay him that much money to do his show, the Dave Chappelle Show. He turned it down, but Dave Chappelle's not a stupid man. There must have been something that he didn't like, and he's just not talking about it. They must have did something, offered him something, and he seems like a very kind-hearted guy, Dave Chappelle, and he probably said, you know what, hell no, fuck this, I'm not getting involved with that. So that's kind of how I look at it. I think that there's a lot of stuff that people are bypassing, man. All these big stars saying the same thing. Like I said, when Dave Chappelle, supposedly lost his mind. I mean, they even went to as far as to say he was doing crack and, just all drugged out and shit when he wasn't. He gets on there and he tells you, he says, look, I just couldn't deal with the bullshit anymore. But he wouldn't get into real specifics, And I think the reason that a lot of these guys, these entertainers, don't give any specifics is because they are in fear for their life. It's that simple. So, you could either give it credibility, you don't have to, but do your research. Look and see how many of these entertainers have been having to hide, and they're famous people. It's very hard for a famous person to hide, especially when you're famous and you come out and you say something like they're trying to kill me and this and that and blah blah, automatically everybody starts to think that they're insane and crazy. I think that's so strange. I think that shows how cold and how unempathetic that we are. As a people, we're not having any empathy. For any of these guys, when in reality they probably need us more now than ever. I'm going to keep emphasizing that. And like I said, I don't believe that this whole Christianity and all this other Catholicism stuff with the Satan and the devil, this ain't going to cut it. You need something much older and much stronger. You need something that came from the ancient lands. The only way to fight off this evil that they're talking about is through the only power that we have, and it's the power that resides inside of us. Until we can tap into that power, which is called truth, then you're going to live your life through a lie. And everybody's living that life through a lie, So I wrote something on Facebook the other day, and it's something that I think, is very pertinent to what's happening now. So I'll read that to you so you could at least have an understanding of some of the things that I talk about, if you don't know who I am. All right. So hold on a moment. Let me pull this up. So I'm trying to pull this up here on my computer. So yeah, if you don't know me and you haven't seen any of my stuff on Facebook, if you look for me on Facebook, I'm under Rav Shiva, capital R, lowercase a, and V as in Victor. That's Rav. Then capital S, capital H, then IVA, Rav Shiva, right? So capital R, lowercase a, V, capital S, capital H, lowercase IVA, Rav Shiva. That's who I am on Facebook. Go there and read some of my stuff. See the stuff I talk about, and I've been talking about for years. Talk about almost 20 years now. I've watched everything come to pass, and seen everything happening, and it doesn't surprise me one bit. All right. So here's something that I wrote, and if any of you really pay attention and contemplate these things, you'll understand what this is. So I wrote, only true TRUE meditation can this be realized. I say, no, you're not crazy. I wrote this before all this Kanye West shit. I'm like, no, you're not crazy or mentally ill, but you who can see the truth will be considered an outcast because you are connected to the spirit. They have you all confused, and you can never focus until you realize the truth. Just like out of the darkness comes light, darkness can never come out of light. Just like out of truth can false exist, but truth can never come out of false. Just like out of reality can illusion exist, but from illusion cannot come reality. So if you think about that, contemplate on it for a while, some of you will get the gist of it. Some people understand, some people don't. I don't expect everybody to know what this is and to understand it, but there are some people that are gifted with the ability to know what the truth is. So hopefully you guys will pay attention to some of these things and look at it for what it is. There's a lot of interesting things going on, man. And you guys got to pay attention. All right, so I'm probably going to make an actual video where I actually talk about all this stuff and put all the signs together and all the people, and I'll put it up for you guys. So I know a lot of my videos, when I put them up, they never get seen, even though I have on Facebook almost 30,000 people following me. Facebook and a lot of the social media keeps me hidden, and it's because I have a very I understand the struggle of African American people, and I talk about it a lot. So because of that, they know that if more people of color, more African American people listen and hear what I have to say, that they'll become empowered. And that's a big fear for these people because, you know, they have their thing set up the way they want it. I could take the entire structure down just by talking, just by putting the information out there. And I think that is what causes so much fear in them. And that's why I have to be suppressed by these people. So unfortunately, they have the power to do it. But hopefully, you guys will get a chance to see and hear some of my stuff. All right, so I'll be on again and talk about what's going on. All right, guys. So talk to you then. All right, Rav Shiva, peace, love, happiness. Be smart. Don't let people get into your head. All right. Talk to you then. Or whatever they do, and then in the news they start building them up to be like a psycho, like they have real, serious mental problems. They all keep saying the same exact thing, that they're afraid that someone is or something or the powers that be the elite are trying to kill them. That's not by accident there. um, a lot of the people that this has happened to have had a lot of influence on the public, and for some reason they target a lot of. So what's up, guys? It's me, Rav Shiva, the spiritual philanthropist, and I made a few other videos about very important people. A lot more now, you would say, the uh, pop stars, Hollywood stars. A lot of people are having a lot of difficult problems right now. Um, it seems to be following a specific pattern. First, they start acting out crazy within their own shows or concerts or tour. African American men, especially, and probably there are quite a few you know I guess Caucasian actors and singers also, that have had to deal with the same exact problems, and they're portrayed as being crazy and just not able to do their work. So that's usually a precursor for something worse. So I'm hoping that Kanye West and that nothing worse is going to happen to him, that they'll just let him be, and hopefully he can pull himself out of this. But I think what it comes down to is what I said before, is that no matter how much fame, how much fortune that you have, deep down inside your spirit, your nature, what's right and what's wrong. Has nothing to do with Christianity and any certain religion. I'm sick and tired of hearing all these people coming out saying the devil's doing this and the devil's doing that and Satan this and Satan that. No, it's a bunch of bullshit. What it comes down to is a bunch of greedy motherfuckers that are very filthy rich. It's white supremacists, probably, the people that own the planet, basically, are the ones that are driving this thing, or the force that's driving it. They are attacking, like I said, very powerful men of color and women. For the people that are living at that stage where they're living a very good lifestyle and they're well off, they must be walking a very, very thin